and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Herbie's 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
COVID-19 tips sponsored by Dex Soap. 1. Practice social distancing. 2. Wear your mask when leaving the house. 3. Wash your hands regularly for 20 seconds using our Dex Soap. 4. Cover your nose and mouth with a disposable tissue or flex elbow when you cough or sneeze. Choose Dex Soap for that extra cleanliness. Dex Soap is affordable and available nationwide.
Yes, and good afternoon. Welcome once again to this edition of the Wake Up Guyana show. I'm your host, Leonard Gildarie, and you're tuned in to 99.1, 99.5 FM. And wherever you join us from today, I want to say good day. It's September the 25th, 2020. And you are looking at a beautiful day down in Georgetown here. It is lots of sunshine. And I'm not sure what you're doing at the moment, but I can tell you the rat seems all dressed up because it's Friday. Are you all dressed up, Rats, because it's Friday? You're heading into the weekend. He says yes. I'm not sure because Rats is all the time in the studio. I'm not sure where he finds the time because there's a curfew. Are you breaking the curfew as well? He says no. He's a law-abiding citizen. So I want to say a good day to all our beautiful people who would be joining us across this beautiful land of ours, the 3 counties of Guyana, and wherever you are. Let's get ready to rumble, as they would say in wrestling. And so, before we do that, we're going to tell you it is going to be the last day for our understanding. Something comes up in which the National Assembly is going to be meeting with regards to the budget, the current budget estimate in the National Assembly. And you know they have been meeting for several weeks now, a couple of weeks now, right within the Artichoke Convention Center. And so that is supposed to come to an end today, and we're hoping that within the next couple of days that budget is going to be signed off by the president, the estimates okayed, and so we could go on with whatever necessary expenses are going to have to be spent this year so the economy could start moving again. And you know, they would have announced, say, $25,000 per household. I'm not sure whether there's a premonition. And 1 second, Raj, I'm not here myself. Sorry with that. So I am not. 1 second, we seem to be having some technical issues here. In the meantime, if you're hearing us, we want to just signal that you are indeed hearing us. So Raj is going to do whatever he's doing here. And of course, all our people who are tuned in. So I wish I could say that you guys are going to get $1 million into the budget, from the budget, into your pension, whatever it is that you would want it to, whether it's your account. Raj tell me I have to do some other thing. I have to take off the headphone now. And he's not hearing, and you're not hearing either. So let's get right into it. It's September the 25th, and we are going to be looking right away into what your favorite newspaper, the Kaieteur newspaper, because we want to open these lines. Yesterday, I really enjoyed yesterday, the warmth of the people, the friendliness, and like I said before, the last couple of days, the last couple of weeks, we would have seen lots of families adopting Gildarie and Raj and Joshua and the rest of the boys down in the studio. I think Yog has gotten a new parent now too, or parents, because he's so loved. And then wherever you are, Dr. Yog Mahadi, I want to say good day to you. I haven't seen or heard from you for a couple of weeks now. I know that you're busy, and we've gotten so busy too, because it's not only radio that Gildarie does. He's also involved with the newspaper as well. He writes, he does some other works, he has a column, so the work never stops. For the media people, we don't stop our work. So let us get right down into it. It is It is the front page of the Kaieteur newspaper, and we're going to look at some very interesting stories, then go straight into the lines. I haven't prepared anything at all today for us to talk about. We're just going to take it from there and shoot from the hip and see where this goes, because I know you guys have a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to tell you, start sending those texts to 6222222, because we want to hear of your concerns. We've been trying to manage it. You know, we have a lot of complaints. Things are so very wrong in this country. We want to, bring awareness to it, and I think people are listening. The authorities are listening. They're making notes and things like that. Let's hope that after this election, after this budget debate and the considerations and the signing off, that is straight to the workroom where things could be done, decisions can be made, and the people can hear some very good news, things that translate into an ease to the current plight that they're feeling at the moment here. So we're going to go straight into the headlines of Kaieteur newspaper today. It's $25 million pardon for Trevor Ben, and he's no other than the commissioner of Guyana Lands and Survey Commission, and they're in charge of the state lands, and he would have been sent on 42 days recently. It has come to light now that he has received, or he has bought a Prado, which is a SUV, one of the high-end SUV, Land Cruiser, and they're very good vehicles. If you got to buy it off the wharf, new as it is, it's gonna take you in excess of $20 million. So they bought that in 2015. It was registered in 2016. It is a 2015 model. It was registered in 2016. And in 2018, he took a decision that as part of his package, he's going to receive this Land Cruiser at a reduced price, whatever is the depreciated value of it. And so that vehicle is landed in his hands, $25 million. So this is where the issue comes in now. The lands and survey, in which he is the boss, the staffers there are the one who decided what the value of the vehicle was. At least that is coming out from a statement that he would have issued, and this is coming out from Trevor Ben yesterday. He's calling for a retraction of the story from the newspaper, or else, we're going to sue. I'm not sure what he's suing about. The vehicle, while it may worth $11 million, the minute that you take it out from the Guyana Lands and Survey hands, it becomes like any other vehicle. At least that is the way that we understand it. So let us see. It is a good discussion point, but there are some other issues with this story here. Like, for example, are there any other organization in which such an arrangement is made that a staffer, a senior staffer, could be able to have access to these vehicles, with the duty-free vehicles, and then have a buy on it without those taxes being paid? We're not sure what the law says, but if you're buying it for a state agency, I think there's some taxes that are waived. It's been used at that state agency for the work of the country. So that's a different issue. But if you take that vehicle, which has been given concessions, and you take it and put it in somebody's hands, whether he's an official or not, that is a different context there. It takes another complexion. So he's also stating that he paid about $11 million for this vehicle here. It was okayed by the board. This is not something that started on 3 days before election, although the transaction took place then. He applied for it way before. So that is his story there. And let's see where it goes from here. It's an interesting story. We want to see where it develops, because obviously when it comes to the state funds, when it comes to how our monies are being spent, when it comes to our assets, we have to be very, very careful. And then there's a story here. Oil companies robbed the Republic of Congo for $64 million in 2 years by inflating cost. And this is a conversation that we have been having. You're being given cost by the company here, and every time, if you have a partnership within a company, or you're within a company, what would affect your profits would be the cost, whatever it is that you would spend during the year. The less that you spend, the less cost that you have, is the more profits you're going to get. So when these people hand you costs that you can be able to say, where did these costs come from? Obviously, your profits are going to reduce. So, Congo would have found that when they, the, the less cost that you have is the more profits you're going to get. So when these people hand you costs that you can be able to say, where did these costs come from? Obviously, your profits are going to reduce. So, Congo would have found that when they, the less cost that you have is the more profits you're going to get. So when these people hand you costs that you can be able to say, where did these costs come from? Obviously, your profits are going to reduce. So assessed that they audited the finance, the accounts, the costs that were handed to them by some oil companies. And this is in Africa, by the way. They would have found that in 2 years they lost over 64 million US dollars, and that's no chicken feed money for small countries. These are big kind of money. For Guyana, in terms of the context of what we have here, it might be chicken feed, but it is at the end of the day, it adds up. $1 plus $1, that's more money there. $250 million accounted from SLED program. This is an interesting story here also. You could recall that there was a gentleman by the name of Chris Jones who would have put in or applied for assistance from this program. This program were for to help poor people. It was to help groups if they want to start a project, and so he put in to start a barbershop. They found some equipment in his house, and now he's suing the government or he's suing the police because he says that they didn't have a warrant when they went to his place, and he's now the opposition chief whip. So this story here is stating that $250 million is unaccounted for from that SLED program. And so we're going to see where that goes, because there has been an investigation that is launched or about to be launched. There's another worrying story here on the front page of Kaieteur News today. It is Guyana beefs up presence at the Venezuelan border after army and police ranks come under fire. So this is a very serious story. It's alleged, it's believed to be some gangs, some armed gangs that would be robbing people, taking, if you're going to pass the Cuyuni River or the river that's there, they would ask you to pay a toll, and so they're the toll keepers, unofficially, of course. And so the army was passing, they opened fire, the army and the police ranks from our country returned fire. Fortunately, nobody was hurt. But the Guyana side of things, I think the authorities are looking at the story very, very carefully. They have beefed up the presence in that area and the patrols. But we know that when it comes to patrols and things like that, we badly on demand. We don't have all the resources. We don't have the equipment, the boat and the vehicles, and the boats and the vehicles, and so on. So this is a story also. We have to be very careful. Is it something else, or is it just a gang don't like the fact that the police, the security forces are in that area? It's hampering the business. We don't know. Let us hope that it's nothing more than that, and it's not just Venezuela. I don't want to do anything that is going to panic our people, but it's something that you have to pay very close attention. Venezuela is not happy with our stance in Guyana here. Alleged Ponzi scheme was out on bail. Big news for those folks who would have been protesting for the placing on bail. This is Urigassi Dominguez and his wife Atika Ishmael. She's Guyanese. He is Cuban, came here, married her, got his passport in June after he applied for it, after he married her. And so he was granted bail by several courts, handed over 70 charges, fraud charges, after running what the authority says is a very complex, believable Ponzi scheme in which he says he's trading in foreign currency. Over 17,000 persons. Unbelievable, that figure. That persons are saying would have been hit very hard. And they wanted him to come out of jail, where he was slapped with charges and refused bail by one court. They would have gone to several courts, several times to the High Court, but it was the magistrate court that eventually granted him the bail. Sparna magistrate court which refused him bail. And then he paid his bail yesterday with his wife, and so they're out. I understand they're about to they will be meeting with the press or issuing a statement. What we do know is that it would be very interesting, because he's promised to make sure that he gives back, or those people who would have invested with him to get those money to them, or at least give them some good word. So let's see where that goes. That's a story that we will have to continue to pay attention to. There's another interesting story here. Winster Estate developer returns 30-acre Ogle lands to Nissel, and he's saying that it was given to him, and because of the whole situation, he doesn't want. These are the people who developed the Windsor Estate, that very beautiful place along the East Bank there, the gated community. And we know a couple of good businessmen who live there. And so he wanted to build similar venture, maybe with a golf course or something, a mini golf course in the Ogle area. Several developers just before elections would have come forward and says that they are interested as well. They would have been given parcels of land. Well, he has signaled the suspension of the transaction while that 5 months of uncertainty Guyana faced during leading up to August the 2nd, where a president was sworn in, President Irfan Ali. And he would have suspended, Windsor Estate developer would have suspended the Ogle development during this time. He did indicate yesterday that he's returning the land to NISIL, which would have conducted a transaction with hopes that he's interested in doing something, but he wants it to be done in the open, transparent manner. So you like these kind of stands by these investors when they come here. They understand that things are very, very serious. People are looking at these things here. There is another story that is of worrying nature, and if your mom, if your sister, your grandmother, your parent, it is 6-year-old, 6-month-old among 529 children sexually abused. Now, what they're saying here, this is coming from the child care director, Anne Green. Hope you're listening, Anne Green, and a good day to you, ma'am. We know that you've been there for a little while and that you're very protective of the charges that you have under your hand. But one of the things that came out of the story is that during this pandemic time, there has been a spike in the number of sexual abuse cases, and so it means that people were paying attention, they were home, and the predators would have been on the prowl. And so this is not something that is very good. We must, as parents, pay very close attention to what is happening, what we're hearing, what we're seeing with our children. Pay very close attention, because when you have a lot of times on the hand, would say the devil find work for idle hands and minds. So during this time here, during the last couple of months, there would have been noted an increase in the number of cases, sexual abuse cases, for especially children, the child care. And so this is another one. Schoolgirl dies months after tragic accident, and she would have been lingering, and her mother went to work or went somewhere. She went home after coming out of her minibus, and a car that was headed to Linden, a hire car, picked her up. I think somewhere in the Friendship area there. A very young girl going to the Diamond School, where my son also attends, and it's very sad. This little girl that would have died, and she was just 13 at Kaiser Austin, and she would have been lingering, and so sad that she was talking to her mom, but she started taking a turn for the better, and then her mother went out one day, and I think already a couple of days back, and all of a sudden she took in and they rushed her to the hospital, and by the time the mom reached to the hospital, she had passed away. So it's not something that is very good that we hear from parents. These are stories that I don't like reading, but it is what it is. 1,700 teachers start online training, over 5,000 registered. This is very good in this day and age where things have changed dramatically. With the pandemic, we have to find other ways to do things. We have to find initiatives. We have to find innovative ways. And so these are good things. And we have 2 more COVID-19 deaths. Oh gosh, people, please, we are over 70. At this rate that we're going, 2 on 1 per day, we are going to be hitting 100 before the year is out, unless we put a stop to it. And so let's make sure that you don't do that, that you protect yourself, that you wear your mask, and so on. Very quickly, as we come to a close here, PPPC sole source budget certificate, we only continued. So this has to do with procurement, and this is a former Minister of Citizenship, Winston Felix, talking about the Larry London, former official within the coalition, who would have been given a contract to print birth certificates applications. And he's saying that, the PPP used to do it, so we just continue it. So because you did it, we did it. In any case, they're saying that they checked other people, and Larry London, who's one of their own, came up with a good proposal, and they accepted it. Fair enough. Well, there are questions about that. Was the proper procurement followed? It is being investigated right now. Two several transactions being investigated. We did talk about fugitive Leroy Graham, who escaped recently from um, the the prisons there at Nan. He would have been caught hiding in a shack at Buxton. So people are not taking this thing. You can't expect that you're going to do something and just disappear, and then people are not going to know. People pointed out to the police that there's somebody suspicious. They believe he's the escapee, and the police went and got him from a shack where he was probably hiding. So he's going to have some more jail time coming to him there. And so Olato Sam back at Ministry of Education as specialist, very experienced campaigner. So in a very short while we preparing, let me tell you, 622 622 and 226-7453. You should call us on 226-7453. In about 5 minutes, we are going to open the lines. In the meantime, there is that Ministry of Education story that we should tell you, that the Guyana government has asked CXC to intervene in it, and so let's see where that goes from here, to look into the complaints that has been raised by the Guyanese students. QC bishops and a couple of the other students says something was wrong with the grading. They protested, and they've called. They says we have our documents and so on. We have our papers here. You can have a look at it. So it seems to be as if you're calling for a recount here. It is a recount. So in the meantime, Raj, as we get ready for those callers, let me tell you what Raj has said. Raj, are you going back to India anytime soon? Raj doesn't want to go. Raj loves Guyana. So we are going to head to some, very quickly, we are going to be headed to some messages. Gildarie, after 4 months short of 10 years now, NIS called me. I've applied for underpayment, and now I have to go and check to see if I'll get my money November month. If I died, I would not have been able to get my money that was due. This is after 4 months short of 10 years. This person says that NIS now called them. This is a shame. A shame. Maybe can be played. Lyrics clean, gave. I'm not sure what this means. But very quickly, 6222222. I want you to send those messages to that number there. Or you could call us on 226-7453. Do we have a call on 9 already? Yes, go right ahead, call it. I think we would have missed that. So let's go back again. And so keep sending those messages to us people there. I want to say a good day to the people down in Diamond. I understand that one of our biggest viewer, one of our biggest fan, who would have been encouraging us during the elections, who would have been with us. She's not feeling so well. It's not only one of them, it's two of them. And both of them living on the East Bank. One of them is Elizabeth Sunich, not doing so very well. Elizabeth, I want to say that we're praying for you for your speedy recovery, and I hope that everything else is all right with you with regards to your health. I think everybody is rooting for you. And of course, Janet, all the way from Caneville there on the East Bank, Demerara, not feeling so well. I think she did indicate that she is headed to the hospital. So we are praying for you and hope that everything is all right. Good afternoon, sir. Our security guard of Region 3 has not been paid as yet. Most are going on to 3 months, and no one is telling us what is going on. No answer from the IRDC, nor even the security company. The guards are very angry, but they're thinking to launch a peaceful picket and strike. Which is the company? Could you guys send me the company that is involved here, and where you guys were guarding, whether it's the RDC building, whether it's hospitals, whether it's some other state facilities? Let us know what is happening. Good afternoon, Leonard. I'm 19 years old from Banakari, Long Creek, Linden. It makes me happy when I see children interested and excited about learning. Education is the key to success, for it is the way out of poverty. But the parents here are not interested in getting the children educated. The parents themselves are not educated person. The Ministry of Education setting up printed materials for them, and on distribution, not one parent showed up. What? Not one parent showed up to collect for their children. The children have been out so long from school that they can't read or spell. I've tried, but there is only so much I can do. And if the parents are not interested in education for the children, then who am I to say anything? Please, Leonard, I'm going to send this to the ministry. The minister, in fact. So let me see if I could. Okay, Leonard. Bear with me, folks, because I do a whole lot of multitasking here, and sometimes in the whole scheme of things, I forget that I'm not on television, that I'm on radio, something that you have to keep talking to keep the people engaged. So, in the meantime, while we wait for you guys to send, do we have another caller? Do we have a caller in line? Yes, good afternoon, caller, you on the air?
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. How are you?
Pretty good, my brother. Go right ahead.
I will tell you a little story, and I'm going to ask you a question, and then I will tell you my point.
Mm-hmm.
You know this guy by the name of Matthew Allen? You heard of him before. He was a radio announcer back in the day. I think was on Radio Demerara.
I heard the name, yes.
Yes, you know he became very famous as a radio announcer eventually, and why he became famous is because at 6:45 every single morning between Monday and Friday, he would play a song that is called "I Surrender All."
I know that song.
Right, every single morning, as God make morning, Matthew Allen played that song, and the reason why he used to play that song was because he was petitioning for the road from the New Amsterdam Stelling to the main road where Astor Hotel is to be repaired by the government.
Uh-huh.
And that was a pleading. That song was a pleading. Every morning, Mr. Matthew Allen would play that song. I'm using that situation as an analogy that I had called in concerning that tax thing from GRA. They end up naming that street, by the way, Matthew Allen Street, when he died. He had to wait until he died before they fixed the street and named it Matthew Allen Street.
Mm-hmm.
Ask anybody in New Amsterdam where Matthew Allen Street is, they're going to tell you from the Stelling to the road. It was so bad, there was the road that New Amsterdam and Borbicians were known as a close-off. When a car go in, it lost. So bad it was. So Matthew Allen became famous because of that. And it looks like I'm going to become famous until I die. Then that bill, the McDougall bill, is going to be passed in Parliament for the government to stop fleecing the people while the budget is going on, to make a decision to stop fleecing the people about that payment for GRA license when the vehicle was not on the road.
Right. Well,
it looks like I'm going to have to harp on that problem.
No, there's nothing wrong with that,
like
you know.
Matthew Allen.
Yeah, you have to harp on it. You got to continue. You know,
Well,
I do
I'm
that.
not Matthew Allen. I'm already McDougall. I don't have the time to waste, to die, to wait until they do the right thing. It's crucial. And I'm appalled the government can't make a decision like that.
Well, you know, the funny thing is that you called because I'm supposed to be calling the GRA Commissioner General this afternoon on a matter. And I have, strange enough, I have that issue there to raise with him. So I'm not sure whether, I'm not sure how to describe that. That's a very strange case here. But I had that on the agenda to discuss with him to find out what exactly is the plans on that, and maybe I could have updated you guys.
Thank you. Maybe you might have to invite somebody from the Ministry of Finance to coordinate with them to have this decision, advise it to who it may be in Parliament to make that decision to change it.
Well, we were hoping, you see the reason why we don't have any guests right now, not only because of COVID-19, but because of the fact that most of the officials, they're involved with Parliament, the decision makers and so on. So I said, let us go by it, because after this, we intend to pull them in one by one. The people need answers, and we want to start talking very seriously. We don't want to use fancy talks or anything. We need to have some serious, timelines and those kind of things.
Yeah, I want it to be known, Mr. Gildarie, this is not a PPPC bashing.
No.
This is something that's been going on since the previous administration, and it's continuing.
There's nothing wrong with us as a people asking for a better life. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think our government has to understand, whichever government is in there, the people are going to be making the demands. And they're going to be an impatient bunch. And there's nothing wrong with that either. We do expect service. Huh? So right. I think politicians got to be not thick-skinned, but they have to understand that our people have needs, they have demands, and especially when you're staring at a couple of kids, or you have your light bill due or your mortgage due, it's going to be desperation time.
Right.
So I understand what you're saying.
I hope I don't become Matthew Allen.
No, no,
or
no.
have to be like Matthew Allen?
No, no, you should, because there's the only way that our people are gonna understand that this is a recurring, how you say it, I think you would say it's a recurring decimal.
Hmm.
It keeps, we gotta keep repeating it. That's the only way that it really gets into people's head. Might be
Okay.
annoying, but it is what it is.
Well, I wish I could get some backup from persons in Guyana that's going through my plight or the same plight, and
Right.
find it fair, like I do find it fair, to announce on it instead of I alone calling the radio station and there are people that's suffering. Let them come on too and make a noise
Uh-huh.
and help the situation to go forward to the politicians' ears. You know.
All right. Well, thank you very much for that, my
Yes,
brother.
sir.
And let me see how I could get some answers. Maybe Mrs. Stacia, who could probably be able to tell us as a policy maker, maybe too.
Hmm.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Mr. Gildarie.
Good
Bye
day.
bye.
Good. So this person here from Region 3 who's complaining about the security guards not being paid by the RDC, they're saying that the company's name is Sentinel Security Inc., 273 Lamahar Street. Sentinel need to tell the staff or something. I understand that it was pandemic. I think we all know by now. But you cannot keep people in limbo, and if the people complain about not being paid in 3 months, why the government, I'm sure that the government would have been paying these kind of bills over the period, why it is that we are not paying our staffers, and at the end of the day we also have to come back, have them been paying NIS and so on. We have one set of companies that has been given contractors the job, security jobs all around the place, and then they do a whole bunch of nonsense that might disqualify them from getting future contracts, including not paying the staffers. I think that should be one of the criteria. If you're going into a business, you must have some money at it, and I mean, not all businesses are going to survive. But you cannot be going into the security business and you're dependent month to month on the payment from a particular, whether it's a government, whether it's the Ministry of Education or whichever government entity. And let's say that you miss it by a couple of days, that you don't have that backup. If you run in a security company, you should have overdraft in the bank. You should have so many other alternatives that's going to give you that leg room. It's business. That's how it's done. But you cannot make it that the people of Guyana are the ones who are going to suffer. I'm not bothered by any other country. I'm bothered with Guyana. So this is not good enough. So, Sentinel Security Company, our reporters are going to be working on this, and so this is not good. This company, the people are really upset about it. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for your good work. May you have a blessed weekend and stay safe. I'm kindly asking all the residents of Fort Island to continue to wear the face mask when leaving home. This is a message from the community health worker. So good day to all the folks on in Fort Island, beautiful place. If you want to take a visit, just to air your head a little, get there, get on a boat, find out how to get there, and then you know there's some very scenic place, do a picnic, and get back to Georgetown or wherever you live in. Um, also, a good day to you folks down there. We need to go back to our yearly bill with GWI instead of monthly, because meters are not working and they're just estimating and sending bills. And this seems to be a problem. And like whoever it is that's sending this, you guys take some pictures and so on, take pictures of your bill, find PUC and start sending these things out. I know we got to do it, and we got to get these boys on the cases here. PUC got to be doing the work. We give them millions of dollars to these regulators. I think the chairperson would understand what I'm saying. They're um, uh, very seriously, in that we could be friends, but when it comes to doing the job, Gildarie doesn't see black or white. We just see it as it is, and we just call it as it is, because this is the Wake Up Guyana show. And so, in the meantime, let me tell you, it's a better value for better protection. Get your ship and cargo cover with us today. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. at 121 Regent and Arnock Street. To better serve you, you can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787 or 269-0020. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. And so in the meantime, before we head back to the line, let's see, there's some other persons who have been sending. Good afternoon, I'm a student that wrote CXC examination this year. And to see what the Queen's College and other schools around the Caribbean are fighting for, I'm one of the thousands of students who's sad and depressed at the moment. I fully endorse the appeal for a complete recount on a review of the examinations this year. I can't believe that the grading that CXC gave out this year, some of the subjects that I'm so good at and was expecting my full grade, I can't believe that the CXC upgraded me for those subjects. So I'm hoping that this matter can be resolved and solved swiftly, because that's what we're dependent on to where we want to go next. So thank you very much from this student here. I understand what you're saying, and it's never good to see that, this is an entity that has been managing examinations for years. And for something to go wrong like this, they'd have to move very quickly before, people start questioning what they're getting. This is not a good situation. So CXC needs to address the situation in a very smart manner. The CXC needs to be addressing this matter and address it very urgently. This is not one school. It's right across the Caribbean. There seems to be some problem. So I'm not sure. The people, somebody says that this security company was back in the coalition government, so they were getting a lot of contracts. I'm not sure. So that means they're not getting contracts now. What we could tell you is that these company here is when the old people here, they got to pay the money. I don't know, but we're going to look into the situation. I'm hearing reports now of a big accident in Diamond there. I'm hoping that this is not true. Could somebody send me some details? This is in Diamond, East Bank, Demerara. What's happening there? Folks, if you have any details, just send it through to us. I'm hearing that it is a major issue there. So, let me see. Good afternoon, sir. I applied for birth certificate for my daughter in March. The certificate came on Tuesday without my child name on it. What is really happening? Let me see what's happening here. Okay. All right. Yes. Somebody here applied, and yes, there's no name. I guess you could write in the name, and then you get into trouble. We got to find out what's happening there. Mr. Austin, I think it is, who's there with the Guyana General Registrar's Office. So somebody applied for a birth certificate, and they received the birth certificate with a person's name. So that in itself is not something that's very good. Good day, hope all is well. Is there any information regarding the device assisted school children? I really appreciate it. We've asked a couple of people. Some people are coming through with us. As soon as we get it, we're working on it. This is something that we're doing off our own. In the meantime, folks, about this accident in Diamond, let us see if you guys could probably get us some details on that. I hope that everybody's safe there. So, Raj, let's go right back into the calls. Do we have any call there? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air?
Oh,
Hi, how
good
are you?
afternoon, man. How are you?
Pretty good, man.
I got a problem here
Tell
with
me.
the NIS.
Uh-huh.
Now, my mother-in-law is 97 plus years, right? And she's bedridden. And my wife had to get authorization to get her money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the authorization was expired, and she had to take it at Melanie. Now, the sent tells her that she got to wait 6 weeks after. When I call NIS at Big Time this morning, that's it, 8 weeks now, right? They say it's still there. They give us a number to call Melanie, and it's frustrated because you keep calling that number, and you don't get through at all. What's going on there? Because I got to get somebody to lift her up now if I got to take her there,
All right,
Take her to Melanie.
let me tell you what it is. We would have brought the PRO here a couple of times on this radio, and I want to say thank you very much to Ms. Diane Lewis Baxter.
Yeah.
I can't get back Ms. Lewis Baxter right now. I've been sending several messages. I've been calling her phone. She refused. I can't say that she refused to answer. I'm not sure whether it's overwhelming when they come here and they hear the amount of complaints, or she has become very busy. She told me that she was very, very busy. It's anniversary month. I called the general manager of NIS, I think about 2 days or 3 days back, to ask them to return a call to me, because we're extending this radio station for have them to come here to maybe to talk, because they needed to engage the people. They were very happy that we did that. Do I need to tell you that I haven't been contacted back? You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes, I understand you.
So it's very frustrating, and so
because you know what? I can tell you something. Now I got to get somebody to lift her up upstairs, to bring her down, put her in a car, take her there. Then they had to come to see her to the car. Then Now, I don't understand for this. Now, we're going to tell her that there's a COVID. They can't visit the home with COVID.
Right, and this is so very sad. Imagine, and I think this is what the Minister of Human Services would have said, taking the service to the people. Imagine you're going to take a bedridden woman, 97 years.
Yeah, 97.
You know what? 2258491. That is the number. I want you to call me after this because I would love for us to carry the story.
Okay, then,
I'm
thank you.
getting, I think NIS, NIS is getting just like GT&T now. Yes, it's 2258491. Call me after the show here.
What?
225
225
8491.
8491.
8491.
Thank you very much.
Call me after because there's a story that I would like to tell. I can't imagine that NIS or anybody would ask a 97-year-old bedridden woman to be taken to a particular place. I mean, let us stop it now. I think NIS, the last couple of days, I've been very patient. I've done everything that I'm supposed to do. I've extended the radio. We have extended the radio because that's a mandate that was given by Mr. Glenn Lal as the director here. And he's saying, let's make it the people's radio. Let them come on. Let them, let them talk. Let them air the grievances.
I know that.
So he has said that, and that is what we intend to do. Now, if you be giving you it and you don't want to turn up, what do you want me to do? You understand?
So old lady like that, yes. And my wife gotta get frustrated enough to go up and down. And then they give you a number call. When you go there, when you call the number, you sit for near half an hour, you don't get it through. Then when you do get through, they are at lunch.
I think I'm going to have a chat back with the general manager of NIS, and I'm going to have to express my displeasure as to being treated like a little boy. I don't like being treated like a little boy. I don't do that to anybody. So we will see what happens. Call me after the show, sir, and let's have the story. God bless.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So that is a very, very sad story. Imagine a 97-year-old mother. It could be my mom. It could be your mom. That they're at home and they can't move. And this woman is up in a bed upstairs, bedridden. And for somebody who's seated in an office, they want to see. I mean, God. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing to people? So, in the meantime, let me see. Let me go back and get some other messages. It's getting depressing here now. Raj, have you ever heard anything like that? Your mom is 97-year-old, maybe wheelchair or in a hospital, and you got to get pension for that woman. And why can't we just, maybe use some video? Or there's so many things that we could do. Or you go to them or something. But you got to pick up a 97-year-old woman. How wrong? Our system needs fixing. I mean, I'm not sure, folks. I could be getting overboard a little. But it is 6222222. I want you to send those messages today. I know it's all exciting times with the IPL that is happening right now. Some exciting games. It seems as if the dark horses are coming out and they're beating the big guns. So I know you guys are all excited about that, but then you have the Wake Up Guyana show too. And we're like the dark horse beating up the big guns too. And we have no problem with that. We've been doing that through the Kaieteur newspaper for years now, almost more than 20 years. So I want to say good day to Mr. Glenn Lal and family and the rest of the staffers of Kaieteur News, hardworking staffers, bright staffers, young staffers, and they've been doing their thing. And of course to the folks down at Kaieteur Radio. Well, we know the important persons. We want to say good day to all Guyana because you guys have been good. You've been patient. And we're now hoping that our country could take steps forward to become what it really, in a place where it's supposed to be, that our people could really live the life that is so deserved. We would have had suffering for years, and a few politicians decided that when it's election time, they're going to play the race card. I hope that we never ever see a replay of what we would have seen this year in another elections. Get up, smell the coffee, and start understanding the country is about you, not some two-bit politician who is pushing that race card and want to do it. And then they come out all smiling, want to be like an angel that is descending from heaven. Do not fall for that. We have to ensure that we hold the feet to the fire. And when you talk about a 97-year-old woman being taken to a place, and we're fighting for everything else, including Ponzi scheme, and we're not fighting for oil. Wake up, smell the coffee, folks. It's 2267453. Do we have another caller on the line? Yes, good afternoon, caller. You on the air.
Hi, boss. What's up now? How are you
Pretty
doing?
good, man. Pretty good. In upset mode right now.
I know you must be upset with how the system run and how people are disrespectful. It's a statement of how the public service and public servants seems to operate in this country. But based on the fact that the guard who called the security service will call you, one of the things that has been happening for a number of years, and I have no problem with nobody who comes in the country. They have the Haitians, the Nigerians, and the Venezuelans working with them who would put up with all these crops, work 3-4 months without getting paid. So if the Guyanese do anything, guess what they say? Stay home. So you don't win anywhere around.
Wait, say again. Are you saying that we have without any work permits? Are they working with work permits or without?
I don't know if they've given no have work permits. What I'm saying is that if you check some of the grass services, there are more Nigerians and Haitians and Spanish working with them than Guyanese. Not because Guyanese don't want the jobs, but because they can't push Guyanese around to the salary and Guyanese end up losing. These people may be desperate and whatever it is, and then some of these people work 36 hours straight on the Guyanese, and they probably have to put up with it because the security services seems to be being a part of a losing thing. Do it to Guyanese, and Guyanese can't put up with it. Now they do it to foreigners. Now, previous government and this government talked about raise salary for security. And guess who they consulting to see if they could raise security salary? The security service and these people, the clients. Nobody is asking the security how they're living on their salary. They are not represented at these meetings. So when do you think the clients and the security service will decide to do better for the security? And some of the places that they put people to work, sometimes they don't have a pilot, sometimes they don't have a guarder, but they tell you got to do it. And if you do it, they bring one of these foreigners and they do it. So you out of bread in every way. And it's not one security service. It seems to be holding ahead. They seem each one of them doing that. Some you get paid 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after your fortnight, 10 days after your fortnight. When you call for your money, they answer you, what? As if you doing them a favor, they doing you a favor, wait whenever they pay you. This is something that's been happening all for a number of years here, and nobody looks into it. Everybody talks about it. Yes, politicians say it, yes. When time comes to go in power, they do nothing about it. Nobody is looking at the security services.
Yeah, we got to start looking at that. And let me tell you something. I'll probably talk about it off the air on that, because we have found some things that about the ownership of some of the security services, and I want to talk about that. I mean,
Yeah, I can call you. I got your number. I can call you because I know something. But see, the thing about it, like I said to you, I have a character that nobody messes around, regardless of who it is. I go to the police station and the commissioner of police can't holler at me. I holler back. I know me right.
No, of course,
So
that's Guyanese. We have to know.
I do not get that, but many people end up suffering because of these things. And it's the small people. You know, if you're working for $255 an hour, 8 hours, that's like $2,000 something dollars. Then you got to wait 6-7 weeks to get paid this month's salary. How do people are making it? And nobody's looking into it. It's just a conversation. And for me, I am pissed off with the private sector. The private sector expects security to do a lot more than security guards. Some of them want you to fetch the bag, wash the car. And if you don't do it, they tell the client to move you and bring another one who can do it, and you don't get an extra money. And yet the same private sector talks a lot about corrupt government. They are a part of this with the security services because they know what's happening.
Wow, imagine that. These are not people?
Yeah, I'm sorry to be so passionate about it, but I'm
No. Yeah. But when you hear things like that, you get very upset. These are people with dignity and things like that.
Yeah, one of them got mad with me at time because he told me I must put out his bin, and when I didn't put it out, he said from tomorrow don't come back. And I left 3 o'clock in the afternoon right away. So you get somebody else to work here. I am not the person that you do that to. But the point is, many people cannot do it, and a lot of these security services are filled with women who have 3-4 children at home. Some of them, sometimes you see them in the night, they're going home, they're begging for 100 for catch a bus. It's not that they want beg, they ain't get it, they're walking and they ain't getting paid.
Wow, and I see some nights when I drive through my street there, if I work a little late, and I see these good ladies going to work and not even a protection. God, I pray for them.
Do you realize it that the security service don't even give the security officers masks and sanitizers? In this COVID-19 time, people got to find their way out to work. They ain't got a bus to drop them to and fro. Nobody's and everybody's aware that the private sector, the government, and nobody does anything. But when anything go wrong, you know the next thing? Let's say security guard is working somewhere and a tire missing. You know it's that security guard paying, not the company. The company pays the client, and then the client takes it out of the security salary.
Wow.
Nobody, so everything is back on the security officer. Nobody has no time with that. And I wish I could have found a way to represent them. I am the kind of person, they got all of them wants to do security service know me. Because
We
you
should
owe
we
me at
should we
work.
should break the lid off of this thing, because we've been hearing, and maybe I don't want to take up too much of your time, but we've been hearing some stories that's been coming out. All of a sudden, when the government changed, you see a couple of people, and I'm not talking about this government. I am not aware of any yet, but
Yeah.
I've heard in the past, as soon as a government change, you see a couple of companies come up and you hear a couple of people owns it, and then they get in a couple of government contracts.
Listen
They
to
don't
me.
really
This
care. It's all about the money.
I can tell you this: the one company was while the past government was in power, was owned by the man with the head in the COVID task force. It only got a front man name in it. I know this. I know that for a fact, and I could tell him to his face because we from over the river, so he knows what I know. But the point is, there's nowhere for you to get representation because nobody gives a crap about it. But I can call you and give you some more information privately. Have a good day.
God bless. And that's something that we got to think. Let's start waking up ourselves. It's a wake up Guyana show. This is not just about talks only. It's about getting actions on and start agitating. Because when you see things are happening and our people are being treated like when they're dogs, it is time for us to get very angry because these are the things. You can't do it in any other country. You dare not do it. But you would do it to your own Guyanese people. And then when you talk too much, I'm not saying that there are thousands of foreigners here right now because of this oil development, but not only that, people are fleeing their country because of the conditions here. That's okay. I don't have an issue with it. What I have an issue with is that our authorities could see a way of regularizing the situation because before it gets out of hand. Do you want to see a situation where you would have what happened in Trinidad, I think a couple of years back or more than a year back, in which they would have had to say that you have certain times to get yourself registered, or else we are going to start doing our campaign, and if you don't have your documents, we're going to be sending you back? Or is it at the initial stages when you cross in the border that you start getting yourself regularized if you're going to stay here? So we have thousands and thousands of persons that are here. We have absolutely no idea. If you go into the United States, you have to get yourself, before you start working, you have to get yourself in order. You have to get your documents. You see that happen in the islands. I paid the price because I didn't have documents. They refused to give me my documents because I had a big mouth as a reporter. I'm going to tell you another day about this story that I think I would have written about it before. Many of you wouldn't know. I was locked up for 16 days because I didn't have documents. You know why? Because when I applied for it when I was over there, they said, no, you have to be off island. But I had my kids and I had my business and everything. Everybody else was doing the same thing, working, apply for the documents, get it. Say you need to go off. And they arrested me, put me in jail. I was in the media. I had my own newspaper and so I won the case. But at the end of the day, there's a process that you should follow. That you should be able to pay those fees. There's fees. The country could make money. Then you have those people in the system, so you know if anything happened, that this person living at so. There's an address that is there. There's a police record that you may probably have to have. You have the person birth certificate, and they could become good citizens of Guyana. You look at places around the Caribbean, in Trinidad, in Barbados has so many Guyanese, in Suriname, French Guyana. So you have those places right across the Caribbean, right across the world. Guyana has gone, Guyanese has gone, and they have made a life for themselves. They've developed those countries, but they had to do it through a system. So we don't have an issue with anybody coming to work here, but what is our system? What is the authorities doing? Or are they collecting money to just give them a work permit? Because that was what's happening. You look at any point in time, and I think there should be an investigation. What is happening? There has been a big refuting of the allegations in the past with the Haitians, and they said it was an issue that had to do with race. This had nothing to do with race. If you have thousands of people coming through the border, we are a newspaper. At the end of the day, we have a right to question where are these people going. If you're not interested, we're interested. Then it was only to learn that a majority of them they came through the airport legally and then gone through the Brazil and maybe to Suriname or wherever else it is that they're going. But we're not bothered by that. We are a transit point, and that we probably making some money here, and we're not bothered. But maybe some people might even be criminals that are being left, in our lands without having any kind of ID. Security forces doesn't know. Nobody knows. It is a big worry for our security situation as well. What about the hospitals? So you must be able to cater for those things. Where the money going to come from? The United States, before you could apply, you could go over there. You have to apply for a visa. How do you believe the embassy is being run? It's the embassy money, it's the visas and so on that is going there. The money that they're making, they'll be given a quota and things like that. And we could talk about that. But at the end of the day, systems must work. Systems must work. So I want to say good day. This is the Wake Up Guyana show, and you should get yourselves a wake up because we're talking some very serious issues. The issues that has to do with our security companies that has come up now. It's a big issue. The issue that has to do with our CXC and our students. Those guys are worried. The issue with the oil. You should be worried because when you're talking about that you're not being paid, we should have so much oil money in the area. We should be planning that there's some social impact programs that if a worker lost a job, that there's something that could be happening, that you could apply for some help. Every day, people, my lines are ringing off. Everybody wants help. I'm not sure where I'm going to get it from, but I'm going to have to try somewhere or the other, see whatever it is that I can do. I always try to do that. Why? Because when you hear the suffering from the people complaining every single day. I want to know, where do I go to get some help? I have a father who's so. I have a mother, and they have no money coming in, and then so you have that. I'm not sure when people are telling us another story so they could get some help, but I rather have the sense that the suffering is very, very real. And I've known so many people. I've seen persons who are home alone, not knowing where the next meal is coming from. And there's so many cases of parents hard hit, families hard hit by the COVID-19, lost their jobs. What about the cane cutters? Lost the jobs, then you lost whatever other job that you would have had. The little things like weed and work and things like that, that some of them, the taxi work, everything hard hit. People were starving, you owe the bank, so many things that were happening. So it is why we should be very upset, and we should, um, that things are not right in our country. These are things that are bothering people. We have so many good security people who are going out in the night whenever it is, deal with mosquitoes, deal with so many other things, deal with business people, whoever it is that they guide, and at their whims and fancy. These are human beings, and we treat them. You hear what the man said, you pick up the phone and you call, and they said, wow, what were you calling them for? It's as if you're doing them a favor by working with them. I congratulate the call. It was well said. We have no guard hut. We have to be at the toilet corner that we guard. They punish us when we talk, and these are some. You guys got to start coming out, find something, and let us read it on here. Send us a text. Let us read it. This company here is guarding the school on the west bank of Demerara. Start naming them and shaming them. That's what we need to do. Just heard the call with the NIS and his mom. Something is not right. My mother-in-law is about the same age, and NIS always find her when they need her. I'm going to be talking to this gentleman in a very short while, and I'm going to get the real story, because there's something I can't understand that you would ask a 97-year-old woman bedridden to the thing. That is not good. That is not definitely not good. Good day, Leonard. One is Scotiabank does not cash check unless you're an account holder. This makes no sense. Why have check in account and you issue a check to the person can't cash unless we have an account at the bank? Yes, I would have heard some banks took those decisions. They have a right to do that. What we could do is find out from the Bank of Guyana whether they have a right to do that. I think the bank could decide which services they want to use. There are some checks and balances by the regulator, which is the Bank of Guyana, or central bank, as some may call it. And there's a couple of things that some banks can do and cannot do. And maybe if you have a question about this, maybe we could ask Mr. Gobigang or the regulators there at Bank of Guyana as to whether Scotiabank has a right to refuse not to cash any check if you don't have an account. So somebody give you a check that's drawn on Scotiabank, they're refusing to do that. High soar out of water now for 2 days in Bagotville. Would have sent those things there. Dear sir, thanks for highlighting the situation in Tushan, the group at Tushan that sells ganja. They're not in sight for the past 2 days. This shows the effect of the program that you're having. Thank you very much, dear. And if it is that what I'm thinking it is, I want to say good day to Commander Watts, Errol Watts. How you doing, sir? I know that you've been doing a tremendous job. A lot of persons have been calling me, and you are a proactive man, no nonsense man. You don't take, well, I understand that you walk in and says, everybody freeze. You'll be breaking the COVID-19 law, and that's it. You end up in court the next day. We had a couple of cases where even I tried to call them and some staffers here, and he says, no, they have to go to court. And so be it. At the end of the day, you are doing your job. I want to say good day to you. And if it is indeed that you guys have heard that there was a problem with the Tushen where some boys are hanging around smoking ganja, tormenting people, probably even robbing them, it means that somebody is listening and somebody's doing something. So that's a very good news there. So a better value for better protection. Get your ship and cargo covered with us today. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. at 121 Regent and Arnock Street to better serve you. You can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787 or 269-0020. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. So, in the meantime, before we go back to the lines again, let us see if there's some other callers, any other messages that the people are sending here. Yes, lots of messages. Good afternoon, Leonard. I'm living on the West Bank, Demerara, Stanley Tongue. It's been 4 days now, and we're not getting any water from Guyana. So, let me see, Stanley Tongue, Baggotville. What's going on there? Stanley Tongue, Baggotville. I would like to highlight what parents have to do to get school work for the children at K-Wall Primary School. This is in canal number 1. The message, the grade 2 teacher sent out a WhatsApp message to the parents. It reads, parents who are interested in getting a worksheet for the children can uplift same at a printer at Bell West at a cost of $1,460 per copy. Is this the way the ministry intends to wring parents' hand before the children get worksheet for the children? Or is it a money making between the teacher or the printing same? I'm going to send this to the Minister of Education and let you deal with this. Yes, let me send this. Bear with me, folks. Let me just see. Okay. All right, I'm going to have to do back this and deal with it. Okay. On Saturday, I went to the Wales estate with Supervisor C. Allen, where I observed the ransom. And on Sunday, I went to the factory and didn't see the ransom, but I saw this is something that it's a machine that spins. I saw indication that the ransom was pulled by the boiler area. I reported the matter to Mr. Brown, who said he will inform Mr. Griffith. On 29th of April 2020, Mr. Griffith asked me to submit a certain list, in which I did. On the list was a list that Mr. Griffith asked to withdraw 2 of his female from the list for his purposes. I refused and explained that Mr. Griffith said that because I didn't go to get his instruction, bring up the ransom matter and suspend me. I think somebody is complaining here about what seems to be discrimination. You should bring this matter up here with the Ministry of Labor. If you don't bring it up, you could also try with the union. I think if it is the Wales estate, we have some unions there. Let me know how that goes. Can you please find out how much Indian people have been killed through robbery? I'm upset the news every day and see how much Indian people getting robbed and killed. I'd appreciate if you could find out for me. I'm not sure. This is something we need to think about. What's the point here? We should be. I understand where you're coming from, but we should be concerned about the crime rate in this country. But you're right. It's something that needs to be assessed. New Amsterdam nurses protesting. See Facebook. So you would have heard the West Bank nurses would have joined what would have been early this week, the New Amsterdam nurses. So there seems to be a countrywide nurse strike there, or protest that's happening. I hope that they have this resolved very quickly, because we have a pandemic situation. You don't want your frontline workers, start pulling themselves from this side here to the other side and leave our people unprotected. So they need to solve this issue here very, very quickly. I have a story that's bothering me. One of my brothers got murdered in 2019 October, and up to now we did not get no justice. Never hear back nothing, but the police say they're working it, but not up to this day. Nothing up to this day. One of them died and left 5 children. We need justice for them. This happened in the Seacoast Region 1. We need to hear something. I'm not sure, maybe you guys could call me and then maybe we could have a reporter do something on it. Um, Good afternoon, son. Yes, NIS need to pull up the staff and or come to the people, to the 97-year-old staff. I think it was someone for them. We are all human beings in the end, and the end of everything. So this person is saying here, something is wrong with this 97-year-old case here that they need, the authorities need to fix it. There is an accident. Let me see what's happening here. I think it's there's opposite. Yeah, there's an accident in Diamond there. It seems to be a couple of vehicles. I'm not sure. It seems as if some. Okay, the police are in the scene. Let's hope that it's not more serious than that. Can you sing a piece of the song for us? Can Raj on the camera? Raj, you could come on the camera and say hi. The people want you to say hi. I'm not sure what it that you could say to them, but you could say probably good afternoon in Hindi or some other language. How much language do you know from India? Four languages, and so you know English, and so so I would say that you're not bilingual, you're multilingual. So Raj is all the way from India there, and he gets to work before everybody else, and he calls you. Although you might not feel like talking to him, Raj harasses you, and he asks you, "How you doing, Mr. Gildarie?" And the words that he's sending to you seems to have a bright smile on it. I'm not sure how the heck he does that. Hi, good afternoon, Gildarie. I was there with the same problem. They don't answer the number. I think they're gonna have a collision course with Gildarie with this NIS because too many persons complaining about things that are not happening, that they're not looking, and every single day it's one thing with NIS. I think half of the callers that we have is about the problems with NIS. But if they don't want to engage us, we'd have to find some other way to engage them. Good afternoon, Brother Leonard. The persons are asking, where's Denelli? I hope that she's doing okay. I hope we see her back soon. Let us get Yoga on the show as a guest. I know that he might be busy, but he could spare 5 minutes for us. And namaste to Brother Raji. Boy, stay safe and God bless. And so thank you. Namaste to you too. Hi, Leonard. Good afternoon. What's GT&T doing to the Blaze costumes? I'm not sure what's the Blaze costume. I'm not sure what's that. Please address the water situation. Lagrange, no water supply in the last. So it's Stanley Tong, Baggotsville, and this is now Lagrange. So it seems as if the whole water system gone there. I'm going to be sending this to the minister right now. Right now, it seems as if the people are being complaining. Whenever I got stuff, I sent out to the minister. I hope that they are dealing with the issue. So it's a good happy birthday to the minister. I think it is Minister. What's the Minister of Housing again? I can't remember. I don't know what I did there. But hold on, you guys forgive me. Today happened to be his birthday, and I clear forgot what is his name. But I know the other one is Susan Rodriguez. Everybody knows Susan Rodriguez. A good day to you, Miss Susan Rodriguez, Junior Minister of Housing there. So Guyana, just bear with me. So in the meantime, let's go back to those calls. Good afternoon, caller. You're right on the air. Missed that one there. So it is 622-222, and you could send us those messages there or 226-7453, 226-7453. You tuned into the Wake Up Guyana show. I'm your host, Leonard Gildarie, and you're tuned in to 99.1. You catch us on the Escapee coast as well as Demerara, and you could also get us on 99.5 up in Berbice there. Good day to Berbice, a good day to all the folks there in Crabwood Creek, Skeldon. How are you doing, Mr. Chiney? I spoke to Mr. Chiney this morning. He has a nice hotel there in the Curriverton, Skeldon area. Classic hotel. It overlooks the Quarantine River. Nice view there. Nice little place there. Has a pool, has a bar area, but you can't go to the bar area there. So let us see what happens. In the meantime, I want to say good day to the folks down at NIS there. You guys, we are going to have a chat in the next coming days again. I'm not too happy with what's happening. So we got to engage our people. So let me see. Do we have another caller in the air? Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Leonard.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Leonard, I would like to share my opinion. I think in the whole world we have the worst judiciary. Leonard, why so many people have to be crowded in all the jail, the prison service? What is the magistrate, the judge, and the DPP is doing? Why somebody had to be on remand for 8, 9 years? Just for a simple thing, they smoked a little one joint. But Leonard, I believe this is the worst judiciary. What the judge, the magistrate, they go, 2, 3 cases, put up, they don't work for the day. Saturday and Sunday they don't work. Look how free money they're trying. I believe, Leonard, the government should look into these magistrates. Try the people frustrated 8, 9 years on remand. Why this should be? You go to CCJ within a 2 or 3 day case, don't try. Shed some light upon it.
But let me tell you this. This is a story that needs fixing, and maybe I'm going to deal with it maybe off here.
Yes,
But
Leonard.
it is. We need to stop. Like not looking at it. A lot of countries, like you look at some developed countries in Europe and so on. They've started looking as prisoners of punishment. They look at it as a how you say it, as a place that you could fix yourself, that you could find an employment, that when he comes out. I remember a guy opposite me, very bad, and now he's very respectful. He goes there. You know what he does? He sews. He sews the uniform, and he was a security guard and things like that. But he's learned. He's an A1 tailor. And he's learned so many things. But you have to start looking at our places as not jail. We can't look at it that way. We have to look at it as just a transition place that's going to reform our people.
Yes,
that is going to teach them. That is going to counsel them. That is
Yes,
going to teach them some trade. We haven't reached that place yet because we haven't. I guess by the time we catch ourselves, there's so many things that the ministers are looking at. They have to be in parliament. They have to be all over the place. And they stop looking at the actual work that needs to be done. What you need to do, you got to start getting the people around you who could do job. And every day you call them at 3 o'clock in the morning. I understand that Grainsy used to do that. Call his ministers at 3 o'clock in the morning whenever he reads the newspaper and something he doesn't like. A couple of ministers told me that. That's how serious. I think even Barry Jagdo does that too. When he was president, he used to be calling people early in the morning. You remember I told you something last week? Well, I want you to look into this. And it's 3 o'clock in the morning. You try to shake the sleep out of your head. But we need to start thinking in a different way. We need to start to rehabilitate our people. We need to start reforming them and start thinking of initiative. Instead of just putting them on, this is why we need to have those ganja laws. Because it's the majority of the persons that are in jail are because of some small offenses with ganja and things like that. We need to start looking at it differently. It's a burden on us, it's a burden on the tax system.
You got to feed them, and look how they're overcrowded, and they're feeling frustrated in there. And look, the confusion last week, they pelt up the minister, they're burning up mattress, they're fighting. Oh, Leonard. A case 8, 9 years, you on remand?
It is, and what did the person commit,
Anybody are talking about one particular person.
Well, you think that's bad? A man who got a land case got to wait about 15, 20 years.
Exactly.
It used to be. So that
what is the judge and the magistrate, the DPP, what they're doing?
Yeah, it is an issue. So we have to look into it. We have to continuously look into it. But I hear what you're saying is a very good topic.
Oh, Leonard, it's sad.
All right, ma'am.
And here now, who smoke a giant, get in 3 years, 6 months. Who thief 50 million, 50 billion, and go in 1 day in jail.
Well, isn't that what we're talking about? Imagine that. That is white-collar crime. All over the world you find that the poor man was paid the price.
You thief a coconut, you get 6 months. And they thief in billions, and then get in 1 day jail.
Right.
Oh, Leonard, injustice.
I hear what you're saying there, ma'am. Thank you very much, right?
Bye.
Thank you very much. God bless. So it's a very good point that lady has made. Where there's so many things that needs to be done in this country, fixing our infrastructure, our road, dealing with corruption, dealing with our oil, so many things. That's why you have different ministries, and this is a job. The minute that you take this job, There's no time to sleep. You have to actually hit the ground running. And there's so many things that we need to encourage our ministers to do. We're not going to allow them, we can't allow them to lapse with this or drop the ball. They have to continuously deliver. And that is one of the things. They've accepted it. The people are making the demands. I know that some people might very well say we should give them a little more time, that, they're getting their feet wet at the moment. Some of them are new to the scene. But it's good to keep the pressure on. Whenever you want to see somebody perform well, just keep putting the pressure onto them, and you're going to see that maybe they don't like it, but if you want to get where you want to get, you're going to have some very disciplined people. You're going to have to be very strong. You're going to have a boss who's yelling sometimes, because you have people who are demanding. And if you listen to the radio program here, if you're on Kaieteur radio and you're listening on a daily basis, you will understand that people are very concerned about the pensions. People are concerned about COVID-19 relief. People are concerned about GWI and GPL and GT&T, the everyday things that people might not look at. People are looking at it very carefully. A lady came in to complain to me about, I think it's Enterprise, I think early this week. She's been fighting a battle for years now. The neighbor has the fence hanging over her. Those are things that has happened. The NDC needs to work. The EPA needs to do their work. The police need to do their work. So many things that needs to be done. So we cannot allow them and say, let's give them too much of a honeymoon period. The honeymoon period is going to have to be finished very, very quickly. This is pandemic. This is critical times. Failure to take decisions are going to see people starving. And people are starving. They're going to find some way of getting it. It's either Gildarie has it, and they're going to come by Gildarie to get it, because they need to feed the children. This morning, I sat down on the road waiting on a friend, and I was looking out and I saw little children all around the place, and it bothers me because this seems to be moving to nowhere without aimlessly, if I want to use that word. So somebody did send it to me that, the minister is Colin Crowell. Thank you very much. Yes, I did remember it. Sometimes you sit in here and you just freeze. I couldn't remember, and he's my dear friend, Colin Crowell. How are you doing? I understand it's your birthday today. He's the Minister of Housing and Water, and I know that you guys are busy working in Parliament. I hope that you take some time out this afternoon and maybe have some dinner or something with your family. But in the meantime, you have the people's work, the people's mandate in which to look out for. In the meantime, we have our mandate here at Kaieteur Radio 2. We have to look out for our people, and let me tell you what is they have to say. So let me see. Okay, there's some messages coming in here. Good afternoon, Leonard, and everyone locked in with Kaieteur Radio. This is Asthma Bacchus from Cove and John, enjoying your program. Good day to Bacchus there, Asthma Bacchus. I hope that it's a beautiful weather there. I know Cove and John pretty well. I think it's Cove and John days if, my mom and my dad happens to be buried there. They're resting there. So there's a Cove and John cemetery. There's a big tree there, and there's a heck of I think it's a cane juice. Some of the best cane juice and egg ball is by Cove and John there. Consumer Story. Oh, okay. Customer, sorry. They're taking our money, not providing service that they charge for. Yes, this is somebody asking about the Blaze customers. They're saying that there's a lot of people complaining about Blaze. Blaze happens to be a service, internet service offered by GT&T. It's supposed to be the bomb. And guess what, Raj? The people not getting the bomb, and they're getting nonsense for that. Whatever it is that GT&T is doing, they need to get their act together. Something is not happening right there, and they're not saying anything. They're keeping very quiet. And so we're going to put lash on them until they could come out and say something to the people of Guyana. We are not here. We're not interested in the monies or anything. Start giving the people them the service. That's what you need to do. You need to come out and say what's happening. You need to come out and say, why is it that you're taking the people money and you're not delivering? I think I'm going to have to ask the PUC whether Gildarie could file an action against them, maybe a public hearing for them to come out and give some actions against the people on behalf. Maybe they need to say, and the people of Guyana could come out and give some testimonies about some of the issues that they have. Well, in the meantime, get your complaints recorded by the PUC, so they could be able to use that as some of the testimonies when there's a public hearing. Hopefully there is one. We need to make them an example. We need to make companies an example and tell them, we're not in that frame of mind to allow you to believe that you could do anything that you want to do to me. Hi, good afternoon. We'd like if the pension age can change. Yes, somebody has raised that. This has been a consideration of the government. I know that they're looking at a couple of things. They're looking at also a different way how we could charge the taxes on vehicles that you import. So you're not going to be paying by vehicle engine number, engine size anymore. That might be a consideration, but they're also going to look at the price. So if you pay $5,000 for a vehicle, and the vehicle's $2,700, you're not bound to pay that $6 million or whatever it is in taxes right away. It could be on other considerations. So we have to start thinking out of the box to encourage growth, to encourage business and otherwise. So in the meantime, Raj, do we have another caller in the air there? Good afternoon, caller, you're in the air.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. This is Councillor Ori McDougall again. Fort Moran, Johns, NDC.
Yes, sir.
I was listening to the program on this guard situation where they're not getting paid. How would you like to be burdened with the problem at Port Moran, NDC? The market staff, 3 people, 3 cleaners and 2 security, 5 people in all, haven't been paid since July. This is
who they working with?
Fortnight.
Who they working with?
They're working with the NDC, Port Moran to NDC.
And what they saying?
They're tired complaining.
And what they saying? Where's the money? Why they can't pay?
We ain't got the money to pay. Now, hear this. We have a market, the biggest roadside market in the entire Caribbean, not Guyana, the Caribbean, picking up revenue from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, except Sunday. And even Sunday got a big market. Where is that money going? They can't find enough money to pay 5 people, 2 guards, and 3 workers who clean in the market. I don't talk about this market. It be stink if these people don't be there. NIS is complaining. Training school is complaining. The residents is complaining. It is atrocious. At one time, I had to bring in the sanitary inspector to go in the market to prevent the workers from going in there because it was such a hazard for cleaning it. Right? 10.5 fortnights, which is 10.5 or 10 pay periods, these people haven't been paid. And what are we hearing? We ain't got money for the councillors haven't been paid stipend since June. Fine, there's only $3,000 a month. Mm-hmm. Where's the money? What are we doing? Look, we don't have an overseer. The overseer got terminated because she was a waste of time. They don't have no staff for the NDC except the office clerk who's now assuming the overseer's position and cannot do the job. Right? Mm-hmm. So many complaints. She's now going to the region for payment. The people can't get paid. Residents can't get sorted out. Transports can't be done. Nothing can be done. One person in that NDC that used to have 5 staff, an overseer, assistant overseer, and 3 clerks. Don't have none but 1. Right? I blaming the LGC until now. Now, why blaming the LGC, the Local Government Commission? Because the minister is about the council. Local Government Commission is about the staff. Mm-hmm. And for all this time, I've been writing umpteen letters to Mr. Mingo, to the LGC, to get this thing sorted out. Right? Mm-hmm. Mr. Mingo responded and said he's going to take in this matter personally to see what he's going to do. 3 weeks ago, I got that response. Till now, nothing. Right? These people are working in a very hazardous condition. Mr. Gildarie, the council does not provide any kind of disinfectant. They hardly ever want to buy rakes and tools for the people to work in the market. I have witnessed workers taking broken rakes to make another rake, tie up on itself, to make a rake to clean up. I mean, if I go on and on and on about that NDC,
No. Yeah, yes.
We can do until next week.
I'm really saddened, and I got some issues with that, and I can tell you about it. So I can talk about it after you would have finished.
Let me tell you this one more thing. Now, we don't have an overseer, so we put out advertisements for the position. They can't find money to pay the newspaper to advertise. Mr. Anand Prasad, who is a minister in the local government, has a TV station up here. I've been running them down beg Mr. Anand Prasad let him put it on the TV for free since we ain't got no money. Right? This is a PPP council. Again, no PPP bashing. The fact is the fact. I'm the only independent here. The PPP council, and he's a PPP minister, can't run an ad for the people to get known that there's a position open or 3 positions open. We don't even have a market clerk. Mr. Gildarie, one person running the NDC, and there's a motive behind it that I will have to tell you off here if you want to hear. But this all have a reason, right? It's that the reason is about pilfering the coffers of the NDC.
Wow.
Yes, I can prove it. I can't give you the details on here. But that is the mandate. One person, the ex-chairman said clear at a statutory meeting, them out of the NDC, them that operated one person in my office. I mean, I need 3 or 4 people in it. One person can do the job.
But he in the wrong business because you can tell you that.
He was demoted from chairman, and now we have a new chairman. But this is the kind of nonsense that's going on at the NDC. That guy need to be counting his blessings that he only get paid for a couple more money. This is not the first time this issue is happening with Port Morant NDC, Mr. Gildarie. Last year, when Mr. Balkan was minister, I brought it to his attention, and he came and addressed the workers and said he was going to do something about it. Of course, nothing was done because I think the time wasn't within the no confidence time. Right? Nevertheless, it was addressed. It's still going on. When is it? And look, people got cheering to mine. The people complain to me, Councillor Warren, we got cheering. When was the exams? They can't buy books with them. When was the religious holiday last year, the Human Abbey? The people can't buy nothing to celebrate and prepare for the workers. They can't buy nothing to celebrate for the holiday. It is on. I'm not fed up of listening to the people. I take their complaints with good heart. I listen to them, and I can't do nothing. It is time for exposure, just like the good gentleman with the gas thing that was exposing them. These things need to come to the relevant authorities and be addressed. We cannot have workers that working to a 10 fortnights, 10 pay period without money.
I hear you.
And how much money is their pay? Not even $5,000 a day, and the market collect your money. Right?
Thank you very much for that.
Please make it known and let the minister in charge, Mr. Damlal, get involved with this, and the local government commission to address their workers, that they're being punished. Something is going on at the NDC, and I'm going to get...
There's a Port Morant NDC.
The Port Morant NDC. Port Morant Johns NDC.
Thank you very much, sir. God bless. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
God bless. So, we have... okay, let me address the issue with the NDCs first. The NDCs is very, very clear that the NDCs, despite new laws that we have into the system, don't understand the powers that they have. They have the right to collect the rates and taxes, and they could also set it, but they have not been collecting it. You look at the Grove Diamond NDC, majority of the people, and the ones who are complaining about services are the ones that you might very well find are not even paying the taxes and the rates. So that's one issue. The other issue is that a lot of them are not very much aware of the powers that they have. And then there's another issue to corruption. Many of them that would give out some jobs, you're not even seeing it being advertised. They have something called a 3-code system. Yes, we're very much aware of it. You send out the codes, but the 2 companies or the 3 people or so that are putting in codes is either a mother, father, and sister or somebody that's related or business partners. And so the majority of the contracts that is going to be given out from the rates and taxes, whether it's a digging of a back trench or something, they are going to go to friends and families and benefit. You know, it's all a big, big thing that everybody benefits there. So it is an issue that really, really needs a fix. I'm going to pass this Port Morant thing to the gentleman there, which is Minister of Local Government, Nigel Damlal, and see what he says there. So this is Port Morant there. I'm going to send them. I normally, as soon as I'm finished here, I would send out all these things to the relevant ministers. If they look at it, they look at it. Bibi Shabira Hussein is asking, when the COVID-19 go away, I'd like to be in Guyana. I would like to send my household. Do I have to pay taxes? I think you should be calling the Ministry of Foreign Affairs there. They have a special remigrant unit or so that are going to tell you that you're entitled to bring your household stuff back in Guyana without any taxes. You could ship it. All you pay is your shipping. Just bring it into Guyana, and you don't pay any shipping after. You don't pay any taxes or so, but you have to apply for it. Whether it's televisions, it's whatever it is in the house, lights, everything else to give you duty-free concession. Your clothes, beds, whatever it is that you could bring that you're coming back as a remigrant, you're going to be entitled to that. If you have a vehicle you put it into, you get a duty-free concession. So that is it. So it is, I think, about 2:35 now, about 2:33. We have less than about 20 minutes there about which to keep your company. And so you tuned into the Wake Up Guyana show. I want to say good day to all the people who've been joining us and wherever you're joining us from. On this beautiful afternoon. It is Friday. It's going to be a weekend. We know that everybody's a little worried. It doesn't matter. This is not drinking weekend. We're not in that state right now. What people are worried about, it is about putting some food on the table. They're worried about the students. They're worried about the children in school. They're worried about some assistance that is coming from government. So I want to say to you that, do not give up any hope. Let us see. Let us make each day count. Let us survive that day, one day at a time. We have to get it right. The government is about to pass the national budget, the emergency budget for 2020 today, and that is likely to be done, and that is likely to go before the president for signing off as early as next week. When that happens, we are going to see some work being done. Some contracts being open, employment, and some more spendings in the economy. That's what the budget does. And so when that happens, we are going to see some things happening. And so even if for 3 months of the year, let us see what happens here. So we go back to the line. Raj, do we have another caller in here? Yes, good afternoon, caller. You on the air. Go right ahead.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
I am calling concerning the same person with the 97-year-old at NIS.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you about this. My mother is 84 years old. Now, my brother had to do a letter to collect her money. And when he goes there, like every 6 months, when the letter is expired, he has to do over another letter. Well, due to the COVID now, the nurse don't come anymore to visit her in the 6 months. But what they had done is that we must take a video call so that they can see that she's still alive.
And that's all right. That's good.
So we didn't have to take our mother down no step and take her to NIS or what. So I think something is wrong concerning that with that person.
I can't understand that. I'm so upset with that.
Yes.
I can't understand that. I don't think even the NIS, which a lot of people complain about, would be that heartless.
Exactly.
We got to hear. I told them to give me a call because if that's indeed the case, I'm going to take them up on it.
Something is wrong. Something is wrong there. Yes.
All right, I hear you. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Good, bye-bye. So in the meantime, dear, hi, my brother, when Wales estate was closed, the previous government had countless meetings with workers about giving lands to them for farming. What ended up is no workers was given land other than APNU cronies. Yes, APNU cronies. Now, there's a manager there who asked us farmer workers to pay a fee before he gave us 2 acres of land to plant. At Lair Source, a known support of the coalition was given 40 acres. And Rupi's son was given over 100 acres. What is really going on? I would like the government to investigate this manager. He must also say what he did with the monies he collected. The manager was dismissed for fraud when he was at the Barbies estate and rehired under the coalition. So there you have it. And I have to send this to our reporters. Let them have a look at it, man. This thing is getting me crazy now. All right, that's gone. So it's a Wake Up Guyana show, and I think there's another caller. There's another caller at 9. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air?
Hi, good afternoon, Gildarie.
Yes, it is. Go right ahead.
I'm just calling concerning the same issue with NIS.
Yes.
I had the same problem with my grandma.
Uh-huh.
I request a video call. Well, this is the Podrine and NIS I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. I request for them to do a video call. They say they cannot do it. I take her. So normally she will authorize me to collect herself. I have waited 4 months before I get my letter. So the letter will expire within the next 2 months, and I have to do a next letter. So I did not get to use the letter for that period of the 4 months. So that's the problem we're having with NIS. So it's a struggle with them.
Wow. I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless.
Yes. So the caller that called earlier is the same thing that is going on. Some people are fortunate to have certain privilege, and some it's not. Because my grandma is 84 years old.
Wow. I don't know what to say to you, except that this has gotten me even more,
And it's the next thing, because I'm living in Diamond, but my grandma is from number 2 Canal, so I try to help her because, for her to travel and go to various places and stuff. So when I went there, I would call the NIS to find out when the letter will be there. They will tell me that one time a staff there told me it's there. When I turn up there, they say it's not there.
Yes.
And then they eventually post it, so I got it only last week. 4 months has passed.
All right. Thank you very much, my dear. And
You're
this is, and I understand the frustration, and you understand why I'm getting very upset because I can't understand a state agency like this, a state entity would have this kind of behavior with regards to our people. All right.
There's a next point I would like to bring up. Well, I know the Parking Groups is a private company, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was there this morning, and they have certain protocol because of the COVID-19 and stuff. So it have people was there. We all were there in a long line. Then a staff came out and saying that, okay, we need to social distance, but people were standing outside. But they don't have accommodation for everyone inside, and the sun is hot. They have tents here, but the tents cannot accommodate everyone. Then a staff came out and say, oh, you guys are causing this on yourself. If you have stuff there and you go there to uplift your stuff, you have a right to take your number and wait. But a staff cannot come out and be rude and say, oh, you guys caused this on yourself. Then they're saying, if the time passes and you get in there, you cannot get your stuff and you'll be waiting. Some people was there before 8. I leave there 12:30 because I don't know that I can't get through for the rest of the day. So it's a sad situation that is going on right now.
Well, the thing is, if we continue to talk about it and bring it to the people's attention, let's hope that it becomes a little better. Let's hope so. But we have to continuously not allow it to slip under the radar, not allow it to slip by. We got to continue pounding them, and then let's hope that they wake up and smell the coffee.
Yeah, exactly, because if it wasn't for the customers, they wouldn't be getting any business.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. Thank you very much, my dear.
You're welcome, dear. Have a good day.
Good afternoon, Leonard. Why is the budget debate taking so long while Guyanese are suffering? I don't see the sense in that. Some of them are sleeping in Parliament. Is Guyana a real place? It's frustrating. And there you have it. It's another side of the picture, how people see our politicians when they see things going on in Parliament. That's why when you go there, you should have certain demeanor, certain way that you carry yourself, that you are representing the people. I called GWI at Port Royal since yesterday. No answer. Phone ring out. Pipe burst at 28 Shortville pasture. Millions of gallons of water waste. I had to call customer service. No one yet. Good afternoon. So this is Port Royal, and the people complaining there about a pipe burst at the Shortville pasture. And they're saying that GWI is not... GWI, you guys got to listen. GPL, you got to listen. And NIS, you guys should have your radio on. You guys should be listening because the people are complaining, and they're complaining about your customer service. They're saying it's poor. Not only poor, that they don't deserve that, and you need to do better. Let's wake up and smell the coffee, and let's do some shame. We gotta do some name and shame, right? It's a good thing. Rat says yes. I'm not sure whether he understands what I'm saying, but I think he understands. I am going to raise this issue with the security. In fact, I'm going to make it a subject of my column on Sunday. I'm very upset with this and NIS. It's not a good thing, man. We need to start doing a little better. So Okay. You were talking about the minister's birthday. It's Colin Crowell, and he's the minister of housing and water. Yes, I know that. It's just that I just froze there. Have that ever happened to you that you were there mid-thing and then you have so much things talking about? I'm trying to remember some days. I remember this morning that I was supposed to go to dinner and then I realized it's COVID-19. Then I remember that I forgot about that too. You forgot things. You forget things. There's so many things that you have to do. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please shed some light on the new registrants of the ID card? I urgently need mine. A lot of people have been complaining about this. GCOM. I'm going to talk to my lady down there and see what is happening with the GCOM Secretariat. You have to call them, find out what is happening, where you could go, and so on. Let me know back how you're making out. But I'm going to raise the matter with them too. Do we have another caller online? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air?
Hi, good afternoon, my brother. How you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Here now. I have a little problem with GPL, right? On the 3rd and 4th, I was not getting current in the house, right? And I called GPL. I called them the evening, Friday evening. They came Saturday midday, right? And when the guy came, he goes straight in the meter. And he break the seal, and he check in the meter, and he said got current. He came down then from the ladder, and he came say he want to check in the house to see if the main switch, if they have current in the house. So he came in the house, and he go to the main switch, and he check in the box, and it has current also too. And then he went downstairs, and I told him, I said, what happened now that you break the seal from the meter there, and are you going to seal it back? He said, no, he's not going to seal it back. I said, but how are you going to leave it like that? Because sometime now, if GPL man come now, they go say that somebody went in the meter and it tamper and all sorts of things.
He's supposed to seal it back. He's not supposed to leave it like that.
Yeah, and I told him, he said that he don't do sealing. He look after current. So somebody else, you got to see somebody else when they come around for do that.
Right.
And nobody came. And so I called GPL yesterday.
Oh.
And I was talking with a female, and she said that no, don't worry about that. Nothing to worry about that. That they have the serial number. I said that is nothing to do that you have the serial number, because for instance now, if GPL man come and they go inside the meter and they say that what, somebody bent in here and they tamper.
You could get yourself in trouble with that. I agree with you.
Yes, I don't want that. I want them to come and seal it back. They break the seal. And it doesn't make sense that he break the seal. Here what happened. He go to the fuse, the main switch. When he done to the meter there, he went in the main switch and he checked that the main switch have current, and if that have, the house have. Which he could have been doing the funny comments in. Why you break the seal at the meter and you end up in the fuse box to check if it got current in the house.
I hear what you're saying there. Well, continue to engage with them. They have to come and fix it. If they don't come and fix it, call the PUC.
Because I know you know what's going on. I think you should know what's going on.
No, if they come in and they catch me with it, oh God, they would drag Gildarie down to whatever this is. You got to pay. Well, I want them to ask me. I like when people ask me to pay.
I'm not happy about that. I'm worried about the meter they open like that is not sealed. Because the GPL man they would come, or the friend or somebody else would come, and they would say that somebody went in here and then tampered. And my brother, I live alone. I am 70-something years old, and I live alone.
Yes. All right.
I'm kind of scared,
Me no, Miguel. Here what happened. So continue talking to the GPL there. You need to get that fixed. Excuse me. And if you see they don't come and get it fixed within a certain time, talk to the PUC, and the PUC would have to find them and get them on and get them fixed.
The utility service?
Yes.
I would call them because the lady, I tell you over and over, I'm kind of worried. I want it because I have previous story like this.
Right. But keep engaging them. Let me know if you see it happen. Tell them that you call Kaieteur News and you call Kaieteur Radio and you complain about it. All right?
Okay.
Because it looks as if they don't want to do anything.
Yeah,
and in fact, I can't talk about the wickedness that I want to talk about over the radio here. I gotta behave myself. The time I gotta behave myself. All right, take care, my lady.
Yeah. Ask me, brother, you take care and God bless you, boy.
You too, you too.
Okay then,
Bye
bye-bye.
bye. Yeah. So I want to say good day to all the folks who've been joining us, and I'm joined by Riaz. Riaz, do we have anything that came out of Parliament? Any laugh today that we should know? I think every day is a laugh day at Parliament.
I know. Good afternoon to the listeners. I know every day is always a laughter, but today was one of the days that I've been on the road all day, so I had not get to look at a little bit of Parliament today. So I don't know what went down. I didn't follow the news for the entire day actually. So I'm in the back legs of any satires that has transpired today. I don't know if any did.
Well, today we
Expected to get the budget sign off.
It's
But I'm
going to
not
be.
sure.
They have to do some paperwork and they have to send it to the president to sign that this thing has been passed, the expenditure has been approved. It has to be signed off by the clerk and the speaker and everybody else, and then it goes to finance, and finance does up some documents. And then
So
where
we're
the
looking at
president
probably into next week.
no, next week. I think next week it's gonna be done before the end of the month, because they're gonna rush it through. It's emergency in its very nature. So if you're now joining us at the Wake Up Guyana show, it is Friday, September the 25th. It is Friday, but not Friday in which we stop working. I have to continue
It's a
working.
payday for you?
No,
Not a payday.
it's not payday.
You get bonus on the 25th from Uncle Glenn? I don't know.
I gotta ask him. I haven't asked him for a raise for a very long time.
I got a call today from Alal. I should have asked for a bonus as I got that call.
I see him looking at me very pensively sometimes, and I wonder whether he believes that I'm taking some liberties with him. But you know what? I love Mr. Lal. I want to say, I think you're one of the best bosses. I don't fully agree with you all the time, and I would disagree with you over the air. And I have to bring you on radio here because most of the days when we're in the meeting room, he's the boss there. But I want him to come sit there, so I would show him who's the boss. So let's see what happens here. No, but he says seriously. He says that he wants to come. There's so many things he wants to say to the people. So we're going to allow this budget to pass, and then he and I are going to have a nice conversation. You're going to reach Mr. Lal, and you're going to see who the man that he is. But he has Guyana at his heart, and he wants to make sure that everybody benefits. He says it doesn't matter. He's going to refuse ads from the people who he believes is going to do Guyana wrong. That's how serious he is when it comes to doing what's right for the Guyanese people. I think some of the stuff has rubbed off on me. We don't tolerate misuse of our state resources. We don't like to see corruption. We don't like to see those kind of things. You need to do things in a better way. We need to see transparency. We need to see the rule of law being followed. We need to see an even playing field. Those are things that we need to see. And this is the Wake Up Guyana show, and you should know that we are here to wake you up, for you to smell the coffee. It is not for you to wake up at 1 o'clock in the day. It's for you to wake up and understand that you have the power to do something about your situation. Do not say it's the government's job. The government has very little to do with what you do to get yourselves out of the little hole that you are in. What you need to do is start doing something about it. That there's an old saying which I said a couple of days back that says if you expect to do the same thing every single day and expect to say a different result, then you're in for surprise. It's not going to be different. It's going to be the same. So get up today and do something different. Plant a little garden or something. Dig it up. Tomorrow you plant. The next day you water. You do something. But you cannot sit still. I don't sit still. I went to bed. I went home 12 o'clock last night. I went into bed 1 o'clock. I wake up 6 o'clock because I had stuff to do. I want to sleep, but I can't sleep. I'm going to wait until this weekend. I have work to do. And we have work to do.
So this weekend you're planning to sleep.
So you may not have a job, and you might say, it's Gildarie, it's easy for you to talk because you have a job. But the fact is, what are you doing about the situation? You have to remain positive. I want you to say you are going to remain positive, and that it is new week is going to come up, and of course we are going to be saying goodbye to you now. We are going to tell you that you should stay safe because you have that mandate of staying safe. You have that mandate to yourself. You have to stay safe not only for you, but for your family. We have 2 deaths almost per day now that's happening. Before the year is out, it's projecting far before the year is out that we're going to reach 100 persons dead. We don't want to hear that somebody that's from your family, but what we see in the figures are coming, the hinterland areas especially are the ones that are hard hit, and that is because the body areas are there, and people are going and coming as if there's no restriction on the body areas. They come in and doing it so illegally. So people are intermixing and people are doing stuff. And so you see the elderly folks are the ones, and even young folks are being the ones that are being attacked. So this is not, the COVID-19 is not going to go away for a little while. We have to change our lifestyle. We have to change our expectations. See people saying, when is the situation going to normalize? The entire world is being held at ransom by COVID-19. The entire world has changed. You see, big companies are almost taking severe blows. Even Exxon has taken so much blows that its worth has dropped from about $500 billion US dollars to about $150 billion. So they have to think about different ways of doing different things, and that is the whole point. What are we doing to make things different or do things differently to make things change in our lives? Well, you have to figure that out. And if it doesn't work, you try something else. But you're not sitting still, sitting in your hands is not an option at the moment. So I want to say good day to all our people across this beautiful land of ours, wherever you are. And of course, for joining us overseas, I want to say thank you. It's Friday. Stay safe. Make sure that you protect yourselves and your family. And until we meet again, same place, same time on Monday, I am going to stay safe as well, and I'm going to be thinking of you. Let's pray for Guyana. She deserves it, and because we have our whole life ahead of us, we have our oil and its benefits to benefit from as we move forward and bring this country to another level. Thank you very much, Raj, and thank you very much, Riaz, for joining me such short time. Thank you. So until.
19 tips sponsored by Deck Soap. 1. Practice social distancing. 2. Wear your mask when leaving the house. 3. Wash your hands regularly for 20 seconds using our Deck Soap. 4. Cover your nose and mouth with a disposable tissue or flex elbow when you cough or sneeze. Choose Deck Soap for that extra cleanliness. Deck Soap is affordable and available nationwide.
Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Berbice 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.